My girlfriend cheated with my coworker. While I worked 80-hour weeks to support us, so I vanished quietly. What I did next left them speechless. I'm a 25-year-old male and had been with Kayla, a 23-year-old female, for 3 years. We met at this shitty bar downtown through mutual friends. She was hot. We met during trivia night when she destroyed everyone with a random knowledge of 1980s action movies. She was my kind of girl. She was wearing this little black top and jeans that fit just right, slamming back tequila shots like they were water. Our first date was at this sketchy taco place that ended up giving us both food poisoning. Most girls would have been pissed, but Kayla thought it was hilarious. We spent our second date recovering on my couch, binging on Breaking Bad and ordering safe, boring pizza. When she beat my ass at Call of Duty later that night, I was pretty much done for. 8 months in, we moved into this overpriced shoebox apartment downtown. It was way too expensive, but the location was close to everything. I was making decent money as a software developer at this startup. My job was intense, not just your standard 40-hour gig, but full-on 60-plus hour weeks, sometimes 80-plus during launch periods. I was coding until my eyes bled, downing energy drinks like water, and sleeping under my desk. Some nights we were building this payment processing platform that the venture capitalists were crazy about, but they kept moving the goalposts. They'd say, add this feature, change that interface. Can it also walk your dog and do your taxes? The whole tech bro grind was real Patagonia vests, all hands meetings that could have been emails, ping pong tables that nobody had time to use. But the money was solid 6 figures plus stock options that might actually be worth something if we didn't implode. I was climbing the ladder too, going from junior developer to team lead in under 2 years. Meanwhile, Kayla was supposedly finishing her psychology degree while working part-time as a waitress at this upscale restaurant downtown, where entrees cost more than my weekly grocery budget. I say, supposedly, because she'd been 1 semester away from graduating for like 2 years. Every semester it was some new excuse. This professor doesn't like me. I need to retake statistics. Or my advisor messed up my credits. She talked about these big plans for grad school and becoming a therapist, but somehow never actually finished the basic requirements for her bachelor's. I was covering about 70% of our expenses: rent, utilities, groceries, car payments, even her phone bill. Her contribution was basically just her personal spending and occasionally picking up dinner. But I didn't mind at the time because I thought we were building something together. I figured once she graduated and started her career, things would even out. She always had these big plans about how she'd support me if I ever wanted to start my own company or work on my indie game idea. The first 2 years were actually solid, though I can't lie. We had this dumb tradition of Taco Tuesday, where we tried to outdo each other making increasingly ridiculous tacos. My peak creation was a flaming hot Cheetos taco shell with Korean barbecue filling that was so good. We made it again for her birthday. She once made this monstrosity with blue corn shells, mango salsa, and cricket protein that was somehow disgusting and amazing at the same time. We did weekend hiking trips where she'd complain the whole way up the mountain, but then be so stoked at the summit that it made it all worth it. I remember this one trip to Eagle Peak where it started raining halfway up. And instead of turning back, we just went for it and ended up covered in mud, but laughing our asses off at how ridiculous we looked. But around year 3, things started changing. The fun, adventurous girl who would go camping in the rain and eat cricket tacos was replaced by someone who was constantly on her phone and too tired for anything I suggested. Now I realized the red flags were waving in my face like I was at a damn parade, but maybe I was too busy or too clueless. First, it was small stuff. She'd get super defensive if I asked basic questions like, how was your day? Or, who is that texting you? Her phone was suddenly password protected and always face down. She'd jump every time it buzzed. Classic cheater behavior, but I was too naive to see it. Then she started with these late study sessions at the library. She'd come home at midnight smelling like perfume and mint. When I'd ask about her studies, she'd give these vague answers about research methods and statistical analysis. I barely understood her actual major, but even I knew something wasn't adding up. I started noticing other weird things too. She'd get these random calls and step outside to take them. She'd claim they were from her mom or her girlfriends, but she'd speak in this hushed voice I'd never heard her use before. Sometimes she'd come home with new stuffed clothes, jewelry, makeup and get defensive when I'd ask where they came from. I've had this forever, or, it was on sale, were her go-to excuses.